Let me know if you can relate to this. If you're anything like me, you can oftentimes find yourself reflecting on the past. Those moments when you feel like everything was just going well. Those times when you're telling yourself that during those moments back then, you might have even peaked. We always look back on these moments and we always want to go back to them because we want to go back to when we felt good and great.
Look at this dude. Oh, no.
Those problem-free times when life just didn't seem like it was taking a dump on us. Whether it was a sport, social interaction, or just simply stress-free times, it's very easy to reflect back on these moments and just think about when we felt great. Because of course, who doesn't want to feel good? Of course, we all do. We want to be able to feel good and to be able to feel in a good mood where we feel like we're able to do things in life and achieve our goals, taking action in our life. Feeling good too has been shown by research to lead us to be more likely to accomplish our goals and finishing the hard tasks that we have to face every day. So feeling elevated and just completely great is vital to our lives. Plus, we all just want to simply feel our best. Now, I personally have been trying to get back to feeling like my best for around 3 to 4 months now. I haven't been into self-improvement for that long, so trust me, definitely I don't have it figured out at all by any means. I'm pretty far from it. But I've started to really already see changes in my mood more often where I feel a lot better. I'm not claiming that these things will make you happy all the time. They won't. Nothing will. But these 5 habits allowed me to feel a lot more calmer and much more at peace than I have in truly a long time. So hopefully through this video, if you guys are going through a tough time and just really want to improve your mood and just truly feel elevated, like you're getting back into your groove, try these things that have been helping me. Or maybe just even a couple, maybe just 1 or 2, whatever you feel like trying. But this is what's been helping me to feel better much more often. The first one is to acknowledge unhappy moments. Now, you're probably like, what? Ayo, I thought this video was about feeling good. Why would you include that? Of course, having a positive attitude is normally a good thing, and that means that most of the time you're going to be feeling positive as well and get positive feelings from that. But as I'm sure we all know already, life doesn't go that way. Bad things happen. You flunk an exam, you stain your favorite shirt, you lose your wallet. Losing your wallet will make you do crazy things sometimes. Life is crapping on us. That's just how life is. So in these moments, instead of pretending and suppressing the feelings that we get from this and all the unhappy things that happen, ignoring how bad the situation is, we should try to completely acknowledge and feel these emotions. Once you do this and finally calm down from it, we can shift our focus to completely trying to focus and solve the problem at hand. Research shows that by acknowledging these negative emotions, it allows us to process these feelings and explore healthier ways to cope. The trait of mindfulness, which includes acknowledging negative emotions non-judgmentally, is positively associated with emotional regulation and psychological well-being. So next time you freak out, wondering where your wallet went or your keys, accept that it's stressful and that it sucks. Because truth be told, yeah, you're gonna feel like shit from that. Focus on truly feeling these emotions and processing them well. And then when you can compose yourself and finally calm down from all that, start to focus on solving the issue. Think logically, give yourself some credit. You're a lot better of a problem solver than you give yourself credit for. The second one is to exercise. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys already saw this coming. We hear it all the time. But also too, a lot is just, we don't really think about what it truly does for us besides just being healthy and trying to look good. If I told you that there was a drug that would lead to you living longer, reduce stress, make you more attractive, smarter, and positively impacts your mental health, I think all of us would be popping that shit like a fiend. It exists, but it comes at a price of suffering and dedication to yourself. It's always so talked about and mentioned for a reason. Our bodies are meant to be used and exercised regularly. Now, I understand completely how difficult it is. I haven't started honestly going to the gym pretty consistently until about 2 months ago. I go once, maybe twice in a month. For a good amount of time too, for like a solid year and a half since I started having a gym membership. Convincing yourself to do something so hard every day is super hard, trust me, definitely. What started to really help me was to focus on making it a habit. Focusing on showing up and doing it consistently, being there, and making it bearable. Plan out a certain part of the day, and no matter what, dedicate it to that. Show up and just do what you can. Like, it seriously helped me is instead of, you got a couple reps to do, instead of doing 4 or 5, that ideal range, just start out with 2. Make it easy. Make it easy for yourself to show up and do it. Prioritize more of just showing up and putting some effort in rather than going to the gym, going super hard because you know you need to and feeling like you have to, and to make you associate going to the gym as seriously difficult. That's really the key to this, is trying to make yourself associate yourself as the gym not being that hard. You won't want to go to the gym the next day after otherwise at all. Work up the level of difficulty gradually over time. Make sure you're pacing yourself at your pace. So go at the pace that you feel comfortable with and is pushing you, but also at the same time, you're not overdoing it. And then just start with that and go from there. Much more often, I find myself actually wanting to go to the gym and just motivated to go. Especially just because I've been starting to do it more often now, I realize just how much better I feel afterwards. And when you associate these good feelings that you get from it after sticking with it consistently and what happens after it, it's gonna rewire your dopamine, and you're gonna realize too just how great you're gonna feel and accomplished afterwards you're gonna feel. It's gonna really start to really drive your motivation, and you're gonna get to the point of where you're gonna wanna start consistently doing it. Now, the next one is to get enough sunlight exposure. Getting enough sunlight sounds super simple, and while it may be kind of lame to just go outside for the reason of going outside, it's a lot more important than we probably ever heard about. It's been linked to reduce stress and anxiety, and the reason why for this is that it's heavily associated with producing serotonin, which is different from dopamine. When we think of dopamine, we think of that as being the feel-good chemical that just makes us happy and feel relaxed, and yeah, just the feeling that we're thinking of when we hear it, of being happy and feeling good. That's not what it is at all. That thing that we associate dopamine with is actually what serotonin is. Dopamine is more of the reward chemical that we get and receive. So of course it still does make you feel good and happy, but think of it as more of a reward. For me at least, I thought dopamine was essentially what serotonin actually does to us. It's associated with well-being, happiness, and also helps regulate sleep and appetite. An ideal amount of sun exposure to get is around 10 to 15 minutes. Of course, that depends on how intense the sun is and just what time of the year it is. If you aren't able to get any sunlight right now, just because of where you live or the time of the year it is, what I plan on doing for this winter, for example, I live in Idaho, I plan on taking vitamin D supplements. Now, I'm not a doctor, so don't just do it because I said to. If the issue comes up and you know of an issue, or something comes up and you have a possibility of something going wrong, just don't blame it on me. Alright, that's all I'm saying. But that's what I plan on doing. Personally, for me, I've definitely noticed that getting enough sunlight exposure, it really helps me start to pass out a lot quicker, easier when I finally go to bed. And when I wake up too, I've noticed that, I'm not gonna say it's like a whole lot of a difference, but I definitely noticed that I'm not as groggy and it's easier to wake up and start doing things. The fourth one to feel elevated is to meditate. So back in 1988, there was this South Korean archer, Kim Soo Na-young. She was just 17 at the time, participating in the world's biggest stage. You'd think she'd be ecstatic to just even be there at the World Olympics, right? Getting the chance to participate at something like that at such a young age. She wanted to win gold in both the team and individual events. She performed so well that she had already been considered the greatest female archer of all time. That's how good she performed. She was setting world records. She then retired after just 2 Olympics at age 21. She already had nothing left to prove, so she figured there was no point. She had already won it all. Keep in mind too, this entire time she was going against people that were in their 30s, so they've had more time. So statistically, you would think that they would probably do better, right? But she was smoking them all. She then decided to come back for one more Olympics. When she was 30, she ended up winning 2 more gold medals at Olympics. No one has ever won more than her in female archery. Her secret, she attributed it to meditation. She would meditate for 2 hours every day when she was training. Now, I'm not telling you to do it for 2 hours a day. That's freaking crazy. I don't think any of us have the time for that. We're not Olympic athletes in training. But what we can probably take from her is that it probably helped her dramatically, especially in a sport where it takes so much precision and focus and composure. To perform your best, I'm pretty sure all athletes and former athletes can attest to this. You have to stay composed. You have to stay calm. That's when you make the best decisions. Meditation has been proven to do that exactly, calm us. So why not transition this to our life? Now, especially if you're around my age, 20 or any younger, even a little bit older from that at all, you probably think I'm a little weird. What are you, a monk? Spiritual? Asian? I am Asian, but that's not the point. Before I tried it, I totally was in the same boat. I thought it was only for people from the East, they was related to religion or whatever, religious praying stuff. It's not something that people normally do. So I always thought it was just kind of pointless and lame. But I made the life decision to try things I've never done before and actually try them. I got around to trying it, and although it's hard, especially at first, now I do it daily, and I almost find myself honestly looking forward to it. It gives you some time just to really step back from everything that's going on in your day and just slow down and organize and think about your thoughts, even though you're not supposed to be completely, but trust me, it happens. That's just how it goes. But eventually too, you just start to calm down and everything is just, slows down in your head. When you first try it too, especially looking back at myself and just the difference I see in myself from now and back then, and how and why it was so difficult. It was that my attention span was terrible for my phone. Now, I still use my phone a lot. I'm not going against that at all. I've been trying to use it a lot less, but anyways, you realize just how hard it is to focus on things for an extended period of time, and meditating is the best way to honestly work on that. And now I find myself a lot more being able to focus on things a lot easier and not getting as easily distracted either. Once you get over that rut of feeling like you need something to really truly distract you, things start to feel a lot better, especially just the more consistently that you do it. It's been proven by several studies that it can reduce stress by 10 to 30%. It causes you to focus more on the present moment, improve your attention and focus in everyday life, and it can improve self-awareness and emotional regulation. All of these which lead to a more balanced and more positive mood. For me, what I think I really like about it is that I'm an overthinker. I'd worry pretty consistently about everyday things in life and, just life itself. Studies show on average too that our brains, they have about 60,000 thoughts in a single day. Doing it really just gives me a second to sit back, calm down, think about what I'm thinking about, and just try to tone it down, especially with just how quick-paced my head can be sometimes, and bombarding myself with all these questions that honestly don't lead to anything at all either. Usually it's just mostly problems that don't even exist. This one, I'd say, has made the biggest difference for me out of everything else on this list. I'm not some spiritual rock crystal believer. I'm not some yoga instructor. I'm just a regular dude that tried it and now enjoys it. And lastly, but probably the most important one, is staying hydrated. I'm sure, again, you probably already knew this one was coming. It's obvious. We hear it all the time. We know it's good for us, but still, we don't prioritize it. I'm gonna be honest, anyone that has ever known me hasn't seen me without this in the last 5 years, I'd say. 5-6 years. It's this old beat up faithful water bottle. But it's definitely taken a couple hits. But, it works. It still works right now, so I'm still using it. That's why I have it, and it's beat up. As you can tell, I have it on me a lot, all the time, honestly, religiously, almost. It's mainly because of this one reason. Once I learned this, it really motivated me to stick with staying hydrated. Okay, so picture your body as a car. Pretend that you are your car, or your dream car, your mom, any car that you want, alright? But anyways, as you're driving around in the day, or should I say being driven, taking your human to the places they need to go, of course, that takes gas, that takes energy. To be able to keep moving, you need to be able to function, and to function properly, you need what you use the most. So obviously, you're human, they go get gas and pay 40 to however ridiculously expensive it is now and fill up your tank because that's what is required. You need that. It literally, you won't be able to work without it. Water is our body's gas. And actually, it's even more important than that to us. Our bodies use water for so many different functions in our body. We just don't realize it because it's all going on internally. Water too is literally what we're all made out of. Our bodies are made up of 60% of water. Our muscles are 75%. So is your brain. Our blood is 90%. Water is what we are literally mostly made out of. So providing our bodies with the fuel and building blocks that it literally uses for everything to function, it's so much more important than we really realize. The benefits from staying hydrated too, if it was all in a super drug, again, we'd all be going crazy for it. The benefits that come from it is literally all right in front of us. We just have to stay consistent with it. Being hydrated has been backed for decades now by research that shows that it allows you to think clearer, increases your energy levels, lubricate our joints so they aren't as stiff and painful, and enhance our moods overall just because you're going to be feeling so much better. Just to list a couple of the 15 to 20 benefits that come from it. I could go on forever about this if I really could. I mean, I love water. It's a weird thing to be passionate about, but yeah. Bonus 2, one of the most beneficial ones that I noticed personally was that it really helps with acne. I'm not trying to show off or anything or just flex on anybody or anything like that. This is just observation. I used to, especially for a good like 7th and 8th grade in middle school, I used to start getting it pretty consistently here and there. It was just occurring so much. I have it. There's one time where I just had so many, especially on my cheeks. It was just, yeah, very, very honestly painful, first of all. And, you know, it just sucks. I don't really have too many pictures of it. I wouldn't take that many. I also just don't have the iPod from that. You know, I had to use a little iPod back then. Wasn't allowed to have a phone. Now kids nowadays, they can have it when they're in like 2nd grade. Now, I still do here and there. And I can really tell sometimes, especially if I've been drinking enough water or not, when they happen, especially more than usual. But usually my skin is decently acne free, and especially on my face. Now, they say water is the key to life, and to be honest, that couldn't be any more true at all. It may take just 2 weeks to start seeing a difference with these. It might take a month, it might take 3. There isn't an exact answer that I can give you, but I do know that if you stick with just even a couple of these, or maybe just even one, take it one at a time maybe even, and just focus on doing that really well and making it consistent so it can keep happening. I promise you that you're gonna start feeling a lot more joy more often, and yeah, just find yourself in a better mood. Take care of you, take care of your body, take care of your mind. My next video I plan on making on how to stay consistent on habits. So subscribe and like this video if you guys enjoy this video and you guys would like to see that. Also, check out my previous video on how to do hard things. You can try to apply some of those philosophies to this and stick with them as well, hopefully. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. Let me know any thoughts or questions or philosophies that you guys might have about this. I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.